Well, I think it's time for another space review because I have the background. And this time I'm doing Babylon 5 A Call to Arms. And these are the books that will be doing reviews. So roll that intro, please. As you can see, all the review here is for the Babylon 5 A Call to Arms, the revised edition. It's basically a Babylon 5 space combat game. And we have this stuff in here with the rules with the revised edition before they released the second edition, but this was the stuff they have it here with the revised edition improving from the first game. And as for the, it's not much for the game. I don't know. I don't think I have the box set with this. I might have placed the box set elsewhere, but it did come with the instead of miniatures and all that stuff, it came with a bunch of cardboard. But you can actually use the miniatures uh, from the Babylon 5 Wars, so it's adaptable from those games and a fleet combat game, the Babylon 5. So not much in the reverse edition. They send some scenarios in here, special rules, and how you would do your and shift firing from all the faces and all the weapon where the arcs for the weapons are. So it tells everything in here how fighter rules are implemented and scenarios. In book 2 is basically the fleet list, the list for them. So you're gonna need that one. It's the same thing with the other editions, with the first and second edition of this book, I believe. They have the fleet lists, and those actually cost more on eBay as of these dates. But it gives you everything from the ships, from the factions that you're gonna be using. They even have their own ship stuff, and everything is in there. But like I said, you could use Babylon 5 Wars as your ship. You can use reuse those from the Ancient of Gamings, and you will have an impressive amount of stuff in there. So you got here from the Narns, Earth Alliance, the Minbars, Centauri, and all that stuff from the faction. Normally ships that you don't see from the show, so you will have them in here. So that's the reason why they did that, because they need more ship types for to play the game to make it more flavor. But you'll see here the ships that are in the shows a lot. This ship actually may be in from the show, but probably just one clip out of it. And the classes of them, and the faction for like the non-aligned worlds, and they even have the Vorlons and Shadows in the ships. They are advanced. They are the first ones. And here like the Bakiri and all that stuff. That's for the non-aligned world and all the non-aligned world stuff. And the later ISA that the show showed up with later era. And we got Raiders, rules for Raiders, and sorry, I'm fighting the book while I'm doing this review, so do forgive me. It's all the Raiders and the for the carriers. And here's like rules for civilians and corporate freighters. And here are the shadow vessels. These are the other crafts, like the old ones, or what they call the ancients. Yeah, they are deadly. So if you want to play them as that faction and play the ancient Vorlons and the shadows fighting, you can do that. So they have this thing, but if you do have the second edition fleet combat game for the Call A Call to Arms, the second edition. They have every race in that book, like every faction from the Dilgar, Minbari, Earth Alliance. This, the Shadows, and other stuff you can use. This over here is just the one they had at the time, so they were later adapted with added more stuff like scenarios and campaigns and wars. So they had added this revised edition from the first game. So just like they added more flavor and fixed some of the issues that were there. And this is basically my only collection for them. But I might get the second edition eventually, once I have the time. But let's move on to the scenario books. So I have two of them in my collection. The first one is the Dilgar War, about the Dilgar Imperium. This one, the Dilgar that made some invasion in the non-aligned worlds, and when it was the first time that the Earth Alliance took on this alien faction and became a predominantly, it was their mark in the galaxy. The Earth Alliance was still in its infancy, but it's basically when these guys came in, like the Dilgar, and began invading other planets from the non-aligned worlds, and they requested the help from the Earth Alliance. Um, Apparently, they just did it, and when they destroyed one of the Earth Alliance ship, and as for the humans, when they see that that's an attack, they launch an operation to help the Crusade. But in here, it lists everything from their warship designs and fleets and everything. And this is what they had in their fleet. So you will have them as a part of the thing. This is just a small collection and all the heroes you can use for that faction. Yeah, and this is basically how the history of the Dilgar and all that stuff. I read this one, but apparently the one with the has the more fluff about this will be the Babylon 5 wars, the Dilgar invasions. But this is just for the stats for a Call to Arms. So this is perfect for you to if you're gonna run a Call to Arms in the Dilgar invasion. So they have small fleet formations in here and all the identification for the ships. I do have the fleet that's I haven't assembled yet, but it gives me ideas how to start up a small fleet for that one. This one right here is a little bit more thicker in the fluff. This is the Earth Minbari War. And this is basically a one-sided battle. If you guys know the backdrop of Babylon 5, the reason why that thing was made because of this incident, because due to miscommunications, the Earth Alliance opened fire on the leader of the Great Council, accidentally killing him, and resulted in a 2-year war. So there's Captain Michael Z. Jakwinski of the EAS Prometheus. That's the guy who was responsible for the war. But tells everything and even has like a map lines of the galaxy. Babylon 5, the systems, the major governments, and all that stuff at that time. And sorry, I don't want to ruin the book because these things are hard to find now, and I don't want to ruin it because for this. And you got like the Minbari stat lines, more of their ships, the Earth Alliance, and Minbari Federation. It happened around the 2047 timeline. I mean the 2247 timeline. That's when the Earth Minbari war was starting up. So it was just a one disaster. You got scenarios here how the Minbari and the Earth Alliance fought, and the numbers of ships you're gonna use in here, and how you will destroy certain ships, and little campaign, and that's it. It's a little bit lore, has more flop, and even have a painting how you paint Earth Alliance warships. So like I said, I have the for the Agent of Gaming, so this is perfect for them. A little bit of stats, and you can use the heroes. So it has the lore on them, and everything you need in here to play the game. So this is compatible in the revised edition. So both these campaign books I have are compatible. I haven't had them all, but I'm not intending collecting them. But so let's move on to the final talk and what I have on this game. Well, here is my collection of Earth Alliance ships for Babylon 5. This can be played with the Call to Arms miniatures game that was released many years ago. These are my current collection. So there's a mixture of Fleet Action, it was created by Agent of Gaming, and the Babylon 5 Wars. So I ended up getting this types of ships. I know there was like the Call to Arms scale ships, but I decided to use the one I have for Babylon 5 Wars. And I recently just painted the Earth Alliance squadrons of Thunderbolts, Star Furies, and over here the Auroras / Novas and Badgers. You can tell that the Badgers are with that red in the back because that's symbolizing where the gun ports are, like because it's a two-seater fighter. And over here it's a Tiger, Star Furies, and these ships over here that they were never seen in the show, but these are early parts of the Earth Alliance. So that's many of the ships in there. They probably saw action with the Dilgar. And you have over here, I like this one over here with the Nova Dreadnought. They went outdated after the Minbari War, but they were still seen in the shows. They were using them as military transports with heavy firepower. And over here is the Omega. This is like post-Minbari War stuff, so you can actually rotate the thing in here. So I managed to put that in there. That's the Agent of Gaming Olympus class Corvette. Another outdated ships that was in the Dilgar War. So, and the Hyperion class heavy cruisers. So these are the ship in my collection, and I'm already starting them in Minbari Force. Yeah, these are from Babylon 5 Wars. It has they're all metal, and they're from the Babylon 5 Wars stuff, but they're up to scale with this one. So I already got like the fighters for this one, the smallest one. I used the Fleet Action one, and this is the medium fighters for the Minbari, and the Nile heavy fighters here. So they have like bases, so they will represent similar to this one. So I can have an Earth Minbari War, plus the 4 transports and the heavy fighter. That's Babylon 5 Wars on it. So I have 3 of those already, and I have more on the way coming in. I decided to go to Agent of Gaming and get me like the Earth Alliance Omega Strike set. It has like more Star Furies and more actually 2 Thunderbolts in that thing. So I'm just waiting for that to arrive. I'll increase my battle group because I want more. Has 2 more Hyperions gonna send me in there, and another Omega class destroyer, plus some Star Furies. So I'm waiting for that to show up on the mail, and that's my hobby update for this Babylon 5. I'm gonna start opening this up and making some Minbari. So, and another plus side, those squadron that came in like from the previous one, like this one. Yeah, these are the from the Babylon 5 Wars. I already did a review on this game like a few years ago, so I recommend you look it up. But these are the one from the Babylon 5 Wars, and last night I decided to do a little testing with my own space combat rules, but I did get some few stats from the Call to Arms for the fighter rules and modified it a little bit, and I was able to get a decent Baron Pritzel game with just using D6 dice and some ruler for like a 12-inch, and like I managed to get out some action with it with some alternate activation, damage indication. And it's like, wow, I can actually have like a little space game with this one. So I might want to see this. We might see this in a. I might put this in a battle report when I get it under control. So I have more ships coming in the way for the Earth Alliance, and I even have Dilgar. Yeah, those you never see them only, and you only see them and mention them, but I have the Dilgar strike group and several ships coming in. So I even have the book, the Dilgar Invasion. So yeah, I'm just using the Agent of Gamings and ships. None of them are 3D printed. These are all metal miniatures, so I'm kind of glad that I painted these fleet ships, and hopefully I can get a battle report using A Call to Arms. I look for the A Call to Arms second edition book, and god damn it, they're high on the purchase for eBay. So I might just have to use the revised edition. It depends, because this is basically a dead game and all that stuff, but oh well. So I wanted to show you my hobby update and collection for Babylon 5 Call to Arms. So leave a comment and what you think for this one. Later, and happy wargaming, everyone.